account passwords were taken, and they say customers don't have to take any action. But an admission today that customer data has been stolen from M&S. Let's speak to Graham Stewart, who is from Checkpoint, a cyber security firm. Thank you very much for joining us today. This story has been bubbling away, hasn't it, in the background for a while now. We know that it was having an impact on stores, and now today evidence that customers and their data is implicated here.
Yep, and this story, I suspect, is set to run, and I suspect this won't be the last of these kind of attacks. Going after retailers is very popular because they got a vast amount of personal data which these the bad guys are after. I would put a note of caution on this, though. The information that M&S says has been released is probably no more than you could get from Facebook or the phone book or something like that. So still the big issue here with M&S is not so much the data that they've stolen, but the services that they've taken down. If anyone's tried shopping in M&S over the last week or two, they'll note that the shelves are pretty bare.
What should people be doing, given this information, if they are an M&S customer and they've had an M&S account?
So the big thing that's happened here is what we would term a secondary attack. So you want to be on the lookout for suspicious-looking text messages, suspicious-looking all kinds of bits and pieces. There was one kicking around a couple of days ago offering M&S customers free tea as recompense for this. Frankly, you should view anything free that's been texted you unsolicited as suspicious at the best of times. So remain vigilant, because the secondary attacks is what they're after this information for. Everyone listening in today will probably have had a text message purported to be from a delivery company saying, oh, there's a problem with the delivery, give us a tenner and we'll expedite the delivery. That mantra, be suspicious, be very careful. That's what you should be doing at this point, because that's what's going to start happening with this secondary attack, this removal of data.
And these kind of things can be quite convincing, can't they? They seem to have upped their game, the scammers, in many cases of recent times.
Absolutely. And look, rule number one, if it looks too good to be true, it probably is. If someone texts you out the blue and offers you free tea, my recommendation is it's probably too good to be true. They are, however, looking really, really convincing. There's a whole thing going on at the moment with these bad guys who are using AI and these kind of large language model things that we're also familiar with now to write these, because quite often English isn't their first language, and actually they're looking more and more convincing. So absolutely. If it's on email, hover your cursor over the email address. If it looks to be a bit dodgy, just delete it. And frankly, if someone's offering you free tea or, to expedite your delivery, you should be viewing it with suspicion. So care and suspicion, think about it. The same if someone came to your front door and offered you free tea out the blue, you send them away with a flea in their ear. Same kind of thing. View things with suspicion. Take a bit of care. Don't click on anything that you are remotely suspicious of, because you're going to open yourself up to a world of pain if you do that.
And of course, M&S customers are, potentially in the firing line here, but it doesn't necessarily mean to say that these scammers will use M&S logos, M&S intellectual property to try and, get further information from you. They could purport to be from some other organisation, couldn't they?
Absolutely, and this is a common thing. I quite frequently get an email purporting to be from my high street bank that I haven't banked with for over 20 years. It looks really convincing. The logo's right, the address is right in terms of the physical address that it's on the thing. The language feels about right, but I haven't banked with these people for 20 years. It's quite clearly a scam. And again, this kind of stuff, many people on listening in will have had, sort of dodgy Amazon emails, that kind of thing. Be suspicious. If you're not sure, if you're not comfortable, if it looks really important and it's, for example, from your bank, phone the bank, ask them yourself. Don't do anything about the email, but get in touch. Don't reply and ask them, is this really you? Because the answer is always going to be yes. But the quality of these scams are really, really high these days. And so, hover over the email address, think about, if someone came to your front door offering the same thing, think about what you do then, and please make sure you're being super suspicious of everything that turns up, because there's loads. The free tea one, I have to say, I did get, and I was very amused by, because it's just, they just don't offer free tea. It's just not how it works.
But it's sort of low enough down the chain. It's such a sort of minor thing that you might think, oh, actually, M&S might do that.
It is, and that's the problem with it. The problem with it as well is if you send out 100,000 of these emails or these text messages, and it costs you buttons to do it, and you get 100 people, 1,000 people, a small fraction of 1% people click on it, all of a sudden you're in business with the small b, okay? Suspicion is everything here, so just be careful. And it's also really easy to do as well. If you're not really paying attention, you're on the bus, you're on the train, you're thinking, you're just flicking through your emails, flicking through your text messages. You go, oh yeah, that looks about right. Oh, free tea, lovely. Let's have a look at that. Don't do it. Don't do it. Like I said, my acid test. Would you accept this from someone coming to the front door and offering you it? Treat it with suspicion.
Good advice. Graham Stewart, thank you very much for joining us from Checkpoint, a cybersecurity firm. It's 4:52.